Alright guys, in this video, let's see how we can add validation rules to our YouTube form. What Formik does is let you define a validation function. And that validation function needs to be assigned to a property called validate in the object that we pass to the useFormik hook. So just like on submit, we specify a third property called validate. And this again, just like the onSubmit property, is a function which automatically receives the values object as its argument. So we are going to have an arrow function where we get access to the values. And we know that values is an object which contains three properties for the three form fields. So we pretty much have values.name, values.email, and values.channel. Alright, now let's define the function body. This validate function is a function that must satisfy some conditions for Formik to work as intended. The first condition is that this function must return an object. So I'm going to create a new object and then return the same. Let's call the object as errors. Let errors is equal to an object, and then we return this object. The second condition is that the keys for this errors object should be similar to that of the values object. So we need to have errors.name, errors.email, and errors.channel. Again, these keys will correspond to the name attribute for the three form fields. The third condition is that the value of these keys should be a string indicating what the error message should be for that particular field. For example, errors.name can be something like this field is required. So if name is a mandatory field, this is the error message we want to be displayed. Alright, now that we know the three conditions, let's add the code which checks the required field rule and also the email format rule. Let's start with the name field. If not values.name, which means name is empty, we want the validation message for the field to be required. So errors.name is equal to required. So if values.name is empty, then set errors.name to required. Similarly, let's add the same logic for email and channel. If not values.email, we're going to set errors.email is equal to required. And again, if not values.channel, errors.channel is equal to required. So this takes care of the required field rule. For the email though, we need to verify the format. And that is a simple regex validation. Let me quickly copy paste that. What we are doing here is first checking if email is empty. If it is, the error message will be required. However, if the email has been entered, we then test the email against a regex. If the test fails, we update the error message to invalid email format. Alright, our video is in fact done at this point, but what I want to do is sort of refactor this code. The useFormik hook's readability is not the best, I would say. So what I'm going to do is move them to the top of our code. So at the top, const initial values is going to be equal to our initial values object. Similarly, const onSubmit is going to be equal to our onSubmit method. And finally, const validate is going to be equal to our validate function. Now, our useFormik hook can be simplified. useFormik accepts an object And the key value pairs are initial values on submit and validate. Please note here that we are using the ES6 shorthand syntax for object literals. So our code looks much better. Let me now quickly recap what we have done for validation. We have declared a third property to the useFormik hook called validate. This is a function which automatically receives the form values as its argument. For the function body, you basically have to remember three conditions. First, the function must return an object. We have called that object as errors. Second condition, the keys of that object is that of the name attribute for the form fields. Or you could say it is similar to the initial values object, name, email, and channel. Errors.name, errors.email, errors.channel. The third and final condition is that a string value indicating what the error message is should be assigned to the key. For all the three fields, we assign the message required if the value is empty. And for email, we also make an additional check on the format. If the check fails, we assign the error message invalid email format. Alright, everything seems okay so far. In the next video, let's see how to display these error messages in our YouTube form. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.